Welcome to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Hey, folks, we are back. 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 Hmm, hmm, hmm. I do not know what to say. We are back. We are doing our thing and we are staying ahead of what the heck's going on out there. And each day, man, our nut gets to be stupider and stupider.
Better be careful. He already
Yeah.
threatening to. He said that he gonna deport. What's that comedian's name? It'll come to me. But he threatening to deport people, man. Americans. He's threatening to deport Americans. Rosie O'Donnell. We're talking about Texas floods. Be careful.
Man, he can deport whoever. He can sit there and talk about whatever the hell he want to talk about, but he still got to do it. He still got to do it. Oh man, he still has to do it. He still has to do it. He did. Have you been watching him? He just turns around and now the international community and stuff has zeroed in on his ass, and they know that he might say any goddamn thing, and then tomorrow something else will happen, and they have figured out what the hell's going on. It's and they know, and they don't care what the hell he say now because he gonna change his mind tomorrow. And they done figured out that even his secretaries and cabinet members have no idea what the fuck he's doing. But they followed him wherever he go. They just followed him, because he has no bearing. He has no forethought. There is no plan. And because there is no plan, most people cannot deal with him and able to plan their whatever that they plan on doing. Just look at the grain and stuff that comes out of here. This stuff, man, when they grow it and stuff, they know exactly where their shit's gonna be at. It's gonna be in Italy somewhere in their damn bakery, and they're gonna put it on in 6 months. They're gonna have customers who gonna buy that shit. When some of these countries are growing that stuff, they already know what that grain is gonna look like once it hits the bakery and stuff in Italy or in Europe someplace or in Australia someplace. They know exactly what this stuff gonna look like. But we don't have a long-term plan for doing nothing. All we're doing is we are scattering our mind and stuff around there. These farmers and stuff, they're using the technology, but the technology and stuff and everything has to work with every bit of the people who are enacting and trying to sell that grain. So you got your local folks, uh, you got your associations, you got the federal government, you got the people and stuff that you're gonna load that shit onto a fucking barge someplace or onto a ship on a container. All those people have to be in sync and know what the hell to do and know what's going on, and you have to be in tune with them summer guns when they're doing that stuff, so you can be able to tell your person and stuff, that final person down there, that stuff that we shipped, it came out of the ground on such and such a day. We harvested on this day. We put it in this grain elevator on this day. We made sure that the moisture content of the grain and stuff that you are getting and everything has these parameters that we're going to deal with. They were put onto a truck and everything at the specific time and everything, and they reached the docks and stuff where they loaded them onto a container and put them on a ship on this day. So it's going to be in your daggone store and everything on this specific day. We can't even think past the field.
Why?
We don't have any government and everything that's set up to help us to do it, because you have to have a partnership and everything with your governmental agencies, your Department of your Department of Agriculture and stuff has to be in tune with what the heck you are doing out there on their field, and they have to be sitting there ready and able to make sure that all this stuff and everything is working together and stuff, just like that.
And what
But
happened?
there's a disconnect between your Department of Agriculture and everything and the farmers, and there's a disconnect between the Department of Agriculture and stuff and when it leaves the port and stuff and everything here in the United States. There's a disconnect between the carriers and stuff who on that ship and stuff who are taking your grain and stuff to your customers and stuff out there. There's a disconnect and everything between when that stuff hit your docks and your port and your country and everything. There's a disconnect there. Nobody's coordinating that stuff. And that's what they're asking for. That was the reason and stuff why that that entity, that the auto industry and the Canadian folks and the Mexican people and stuff had together when they needed a part and everything. Ford knew that that part was going to be there at a certain period of time. It's going to be leaving that plant in Mexico, or if they needed a transmission that was made in Canada, they knew that that daggone transmission was going to be made, and it was going to hit their daggone store and everything into their storage area and stuff at a certain period of time. They're going to be there on just on time when they needed them daggone parts to put on those cars. They don't have it now because Mr. Taco Man decided that he wanted to tear that shit up and didn't have no idea how he was going to put that stuff back together again. His only idea was a grandiose idea. We're going to make all of our cars here in the United States. How in the hell are you going to do that, sir? You don't have the capabilities of doing that. Why tear up what you got and stuff until you figure out how you going to put this stuff inside your country? So he done tore the whole daggone thing up and have no idea in his mind how he going to put it back together. And in the meantime, in that interim and stuff and everything between the time he done tore it up and the time he gets back together and they can be a producer in the United States, only God knows when that's going to happen. They just fired 1,200 people out of the State Department.
Yeah.
Have no idea what these people did, how valuable they were to the organization. They just picked out 1,200 people and said, well, y'all got to go. Because Trump said he wanted to get rid of 1,200 people. He wanted to reduce their staff, so they had to reduce them. They don't have any idea what these folks and stuff did. There is going to be a disconnect somewhere in that because those 1,200 people and stuff are no longer employed by the State Department. And that could cost them all kinds of people could die because of what they did, just like they did in Texas. They died because of that disconnect. They died because this whore sit there and said, you can't take, nobody can budget anything over $100,000 unless I sign it. So they're sitting down there knowing that they're going to have to spend $100,000 and they can't do a damn thing. They can't send rescue people down there. They can't do nothing until she signs this daggone order for, because it's going to cost them over $100,000. If they do try to do it and everything, they're going to be fired. But our stupid president yesterday went down there and said, I don't see no problem. Everybody worked together and they tried to save people, but this was a once in a lifetime disaster. 120 some people is dead, and another 160 or 70 and stuff, they have no idea where in the hell they are and cannot find their bodies. But he okay with it because nothing happened. My people did what they supposed to have done. He had no idea what the hell he doing. The international community is going on without us. Our Australian partners have turned their back on us. Our Brazilian partners have turned their back on us. Our Mexican partners have turned their back on us. The Canadian folks are almost completely to turn their back on us. United Kingdom is turning their back. The European Union is turning their back. China has already turned their back. They just got their hand behind them and stuff every now and then and patting Trump on the butt and everything and try to pacify him and everything, and they keeping on going. He's telling people he's signing trade agreements and stuff with folks. We got a trade agreement with Vietnam. They ain't got shit. They ain't got shit. They just went over there and said, okay, we're going to work with you, but there's nothing concrete. There's nothing nothing that you can put your hand on and say, yeah, if you don't do this or if you don't do that, this is going to happen, because those trade agreements have those things in there. If you don't do what you say you're going to do, everybody has to agree with what they're going to do. The United States has to agree with what they're going to do, and you can't sit down there and say 2 minutes later, because you get mad at somebody in their country, we're going to put a 50% tariff on you. It has gotten old for these folks out there who are serious about taking care of their people and doing what they have to do to make sure that their country stays strong or that they don't lose anything. But they are not going to continue to follow this nut and stuff who's sitting down there in that daggone White House. They are not. And nobody is sitting up there in any of them cabinet positions telling him, your ass is wrong. We need not to do this. You can't sit down there every day, and because somebody didn't do what you say you're going to do, and you're going to reach into their country and tell them that they better not convict somebody and everything because that's your friend, and you're going to charge them 50% tariff on anything that comes in this country, that shit is not flying anymore. And people don't care about what you say, Donald. But nobody is sitting there and telling him that. Even the news folks can't tell him. Even the daggone people on Wall Street, they're trying to say it, but he ain't listening. We in trouble. Big trouble. That debt payment is coming up, and that bitch ain't gonna pay it. I guarantee you, Ted. He ain't paying that bill when he hit here. He ain't gonna pay that bill. He ain't gonna pay those people. He's gonna turn around there and say, we ain't gonna pay you because you don't want to buy a bond. He ain't gonna pay his debt. Gonna do him just like he been doing this other business that he went bankrupt in. I can't pay you. I'm sorry. I don't have the money. You can't do business like that. This is not going to work. And we got a Congress that's sitting there, and they might as well just go home because we don't need them. They ain't needed. Shit, they ain't doing nothing. They don't need them. They might well just appoint people we want to appoint and be done with it. Don't even go through the farce of even trying to do a confirmation. Just go ahead on and put them in there where they're going to put them and be done with it because they ain't going to do nothing. You're going to sit down and have a hearing and make them look dumb, and then they're going to vote him in anyway. He ain't qualified, so we're going to vote him in anyway. We don't care. Trump on him. He might well go home. Whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. We ain't got no Congress. Wait until 2026 when they're having another election. Yeah, the Congress is gone. They ain't doing shit. Not even the Democrats. They ain't doing shit. You can do something. I know you don't have the votes, but damn, do something. Then when somebody want to do something, you beat them down. We don't want you there. You got to serve your time. You ain't old enough. You too young. We don't like you because you too radical. Or you got a mayoral candidate in New York had won his election. And he's a Democrat, but you got in there enough to say, well, I don't know if I'm going to support him or not. God damn it, he's a Democrat.
He's a Democrat socialist.
So he's a Democrat. He won. Support him. You don't care what the heck he's doing. Evidently, Ted, he got some of them Jews in New York to vote for him. Some of them voted for him because he didn't get them up that big of a polarity and stuff without having some of them voting for him. Because that's their thing with him. Well, he's saying too much against these Jews. He's messing with Israel. He ain't supporting them. He's with Gaza. Hell, anybody can be with Gaza because people are being abused over there. The people are being abused, sir. They're being abused. If they're being abused, speak up. Netanyahu ain't doing shit over there. He's taking Israel down the daggone pipes too. He got a warrant out for his arrest. He can't go. But Israel, United States, that's it. He can't go anyplace else. If he get caught in any other country and stuff, they're gonna arrest him. I've been talking too much, Ted. I done used about almost 18 minutes here. But I'm just up to here.
I'm gonna change the subject.
Go ahead.
And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm a black culture person. I love my black culture because I was raised during the Motown era, the 60s, and and then the 50s were blues and jazz and all kinds of great singers, uh, immaculate voices, you know, Billy Einstein and all these people. And that culture was really kind of not only heartwarming, but it was really amazing how it just took over the country. And I dare say, in the 70s and the late 60s, took over the world. That's just the music part. And then you had these movies that came out, what they call black exploitation movies, that had these superheroes. And they were all of those types of people, a lot of them were in our community. And then we started having these great athletes coming up. When I came up, I wasn't a big baseball fan, but I read a lot of magazine articles when I was a little kid, books, Roy Campanella, and on and on. Willie Mays. That was part of our identity. Then we had the Ebony magazine and the Jet magazine. I sold the Jet magazine on L's in Chicago when I was a little kid, 12, 13 years old. Cost a dime a book, a magazine. And we had, it was about how black people were progressing in our community. So we started all of this mashed together, different kinds of music. We had the R&B music, we had the blues music, we had the jazz music. And it was cooking. We had these athletes, Jim Brown and on and on. We had the
O.J.
famous
Simpson.
we had the famous football players and the famous all track stars, and then we started breaking into tennis. And we were mashing together. And now the thing was is that what came about was, and this is only my opinion, I don't know if this catapulted a different era. We brought up, we had this, what you call it, in the 70s, the late 70s, they started doing these, what do they call it, when they have all the bright lights and all that. That era came. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I lived through that in the 80s, early 80s. Then in the late 70s, you had the rap music. Anybody can talk and rap. Now, what am I talking about? Culture, the black culture. A lot of us came from the South, migrated to the North. Some of us went West, but most of us went to the Midwest and, Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan, and we were somewhat well received. So now during that time, I remember when it first came out, you had the business magazines, black business magazines, you had all of that, and Essence, and we were building our culture. We had people coming in. You had Tavis Smiley. He was going around having all of these different issues that we were having in our community. And at that time, we had very few Congress people, but Jesse Jackson ran for president in 84 and 88. That galvanized us. So now look at our culture. Our culture was just catapulting. And then here come the drugs. We don't make drugs. Here comes the prison complex, putting people in prison for selling drugs and using drugs. Tore up our community. I mean, you always had poor people that were black people that were poor. And some of them were just working every day, they were just broke. Difference between poor and broke. And here we are in 2025. Influx. And they always been here, but very small percentage. 3%, 5%. Africans, Jamaicans, all of these different types of black Americans. Or I should say black people from Europe and all that. Canada, all of these people come to America because this is what's happening. They want to come to America and experience the black experience because they got all that good music. They saw all the great athletes. They could never beat us in track and field. That changed. They could never beat us in none of that. And the black American people, best cream of the crop, showed out. And now here we are. And I remember I read about it. I don't remember it, but I read about it. I was living during that time when Jesse Jackson was all out. He did the Rainbow Coalition. He did him and a few others, Martin Luther King and all of them, went over to Africa and tried to unite us as a people. And now you got these people who's supposed to be what they call themselves as FBA. Fundamental, foundational black Americans. It's a big thing. And what that means is that these people saying that they are the original black people here in America who come from slavery. Now I agree to that. And that's a good program to a certain degree. But you can't be discriminatory. The thing is that black people right now, we are losing our identity as far as our culture, where we came from. Because the music now is all messed up. When I say mess up, meaning that it's in a mixture. You got all kinds of sounds now, just like we had all kinds of sounds in the 60s and the 70s. People were trying to find new beats, new songs, all of that. Our creativity and juices was flowing in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But now you have all these other people coming in with different ideas and different sounds. You got there's more of them than it is us when it comes to Africa. The Caribbeans, a sprinkle of them have always come here. And they have their own culture. So now you got all of these different groups. Now I'm just saying this. I don't belong to no group, no black group, no African group, or none of that. I would call myself a loner. I'm just for black people, and especially black people for the communities where I came from. But I can't do nothing for them. I tried, I did my little part. But the point is that our culture is being snatched away because of, and I ain't gonna say it's because of rap. I ain't gonna say it because of the music change and all that, but that's part of it. Our style has changed. A lot of us now, it used to be that you dress up everywhere you go when you go out and you want to be stylish. Now people, you got some people dress up and some people just wear shorts and t-shirts or a hoodie or whatever. and it's acceptable. But the question what I'm having is the thing that I'm having with is that we have lost, or I shouldn't say we have lost, but I'm saying that it's being watered down. And that's because we have a certain amount of people that their behavior is a lot different from some black people in this country. Some of us a little more wild and out. And then you got some black people in this country are more moderate. You know, their behavior is a more, not dignified, but more sort of Americanized, you know. So I don't know what's going to happen to Black America and our culture, but you can't stop progress or you can't stop change. When you got millions of people now from all over the world, different kind of ethnic groups and all that, it's going to all mash together. We are a bona fide melting pot. Now you got Bio 47 trying to get out all the Haitians, trying to get out all the Cubans, trying to get all the Afghans, the Iraqis, all of these people, because what they want is control and keep the populace as what they call white. So I don't know. When you divide black people, the few extra millions of black people that are from other parts of the country, the world, and divide us. When I say us, I'm talking about black Americans. Then we're divided. There's no unification. There's no togetherness. The same thing that's happening to the Latinos. And then they don't want to mess with us. So I don't know what's going to happen because they have their own culture within their culture. They got different people. So I'm complex. I'm complex. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not going to try to figure it out because I'm too elderly now to try to figure it out. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna treat people. I don't care who they are with respect and respect their culture. When I was in college, I had a course of appreciation, music appreciation, and within that class, you learn about other people's culture, other people's music, and you learn to read and study about all these different cultures around the world and in our country, and you learn to respect who they are and where they came from. But the point is, you have to respect Black American culture. It's different from yours. You can kind of try to hijack it, or what they call hijack, or you can mess with it, and include your sound and all that with that. But you gotta respect, just like I would respect your culture. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm just saying. And then the political ideologies are altogether different in these black people that come from other countries. So, because most of us are capitalists, we're about the money, we're about the bag. So, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say that because it's a lot of stuff going on because of that essence thing. And I think that it's very complicated. We need people that's very smart to come together and have a conversation. And there's a whole lot of smart people on all fronts from different parts of the world and in this country. and they better jump on it right away because it's becoming a mess right now. It's been a mess for the last 3 to 4 years, but it's really coming to a head now. We cannot be divided. That's one thing I do know. That's all I want to say.
Okay. I got a few things that I wanted to say about that. I I listened to you. You may not think that I was listening to it, but I was. I was doing some other stuff and everything, trying to find some things that we need to talk about. But I also was listening to what you were saying. And yes, we got a very history and stuff and everything, but I think that we need to understand and stuff that that some people and stuff don't want to know what our history and stuff is. They don't want to know from whence we came. And the reason why I'm saying that and everything is because you're finding politicians, governors, and people all over the country, even the federal government and stuff now and everything, who are trying to erase uh, erase us as a people. And when you're finding that other people are trying, and other entities and other governmental entities are trying to disallow your history, then and at the same time, nobody is really fighting against them doing that. You don't see any other politicians out there, not even our own politicians out there, are really uh, uh, doing a doing a job and stuff and trying to let our folks and stuff know and other people know and everything about our history. Now, if anybody ever tried to get rid of uh, the Jewish history and stuff and everything, they'd be castigated and all kinds of stuff would happen to them. But when they come after us and stuff to tell, uh, taking our names and stuff off of buildings and stuff, or ships, or whatever, other public entities or whatever, and that gets to be a problem because it's we're not seeing folks, our people and stuff, fighting to try to stop that. They openly saying, well, they're trying to take it off, but nobody's saying anything. So hey, we have a history also here in this country. We are part of this country, and somebody needs to speak up and everything and stuff forward. Other than just them saying, well, they took our name off the ship, or they took our name out of one of the libraries, or they took our name off of one of the buildings and stuff there in Washington D.C., or they're going out to these parks and whatever, federal parks and everything, and we've got names of our folks and stuff out there on some building or on some rock somewhere, and they're saying we're going to take this stuff down and everything because we don't need that. We're going to put our white folks up there. And that's open racism and stuff, but nobody is really, really fighting against it and everything and saying, hey, this crap is wrong, and we need to do something about it, or keep on bringing it up into the out there on the forefront. And there should be some in these black publications that we have now, blackamericaweb.com. You don't see them uh, putting those articles and stuff out there as to what they're doing. The only thing you see them doing and everything is talking about some black star and did this, or they done did this to that one, or this rapper did this, or somebody is suing Jay Z and all this other crap and everything, and instead of saying, "Hey, we we are losing our identity and everything, and we need to make sure that we keep our folks and stuff, and that we should not allow them to take black books out of the library. We should not allow." These school systems and stuff and everything now, who are checking the curriculum and stuff, or the teachers and stuff in these classrooms and stuff, and they're saying to them, uh, well, when you talk about slavery and stuff, and in the classroom and everything, just you might well say they were happy people. the people were happy to be slaves and all that. That's ridiculous stuff and everything that's going on. But it's becoming a norm and stuff now. So it needs to be attacked along with the other things that we have going. So I think that when we reach out to people and the folks and stuff who will listen to our channel and stuff here and everything, we need to make sure that our history is not done because Jay went back and really he skipped over a whole lot of stuff and everything that I was thinking about while he was sitting there talking about. And the, I look at our grandchildren and stuff nowadays, and we tell them about what the heck happened and stuff back when we were coming up there and everything, and they look at us and everything and say, "Yeah, they did," and they'll Google it, and then they'll go to Google and find out that Google only tells them the half truth and everything because they don't have all the information that they need. Uh, when you asked one of the children and said, "Well, you ever heard of Emmett Till?" Well, we were sitting right there. You heard the Freedom Rider. No, who in the hell is the Freedom Rider? It is absolutely embarrassing that they would be able to say that because that was a huge part of our history. A huge, huge part of our history. People died because of that. When we asked the folks about Chaney, and I can remember the black kid Chaney, but there were two Jew folks and stuff down there too, who were saying, "We said, well, who in the hell is Chaney? You can ride through Interstate 20 and you get into Meridian, Mississippi, and there's a street called Emmett Chaney, Chaney Avenue." And I was asking my folks and stuff, "Hey, there's Chaney up there. Who is he?" We can't let our history go, Ted. We can't. It's a part of us. We just can't let that go. And we need to make sure that our folks and stuff and everything that there is some kind of a history. Our history need to be taught, and we need to fight for that in our school systems. We need to fight for that. When our kids are being educated, there should be a little section, if it's nothing but 30 minutes, to talk about what happened in back in man the 40s and the 30s and the 20s and stuff and everything. The 19 where a lot of us are like three generations and stuff, maybe two generations away from having our ancestors being slaves.
You know, I don't know about you, Ed. Well, you was a history major, so, and I took a few history classes when I was in college, and most of the history that you read was European, not even Africa. Read a little bit about Vietnam and a little bit about China, Japan. Very little African American history. And so, what I used to do is I used to get all kinds of black books and read about that. And in all my English classes, when we had articles or stories to tell, I would write about black people. And my English teachers were upset. They say, "Well, why you keep writing about this and that?" And I said, "Because that's who I am. I only get C's with it, a C plus or a C, but that's what I wrote about." So when I started having children, I made them read all kinds of black history. Mayflower, before the Mayflower, and on and on. Frederick Douglass, all that. They had to do reports, summer reports. So a lot of it is not the school. Of course, the school should teach. There's so much history, so much. And it's discriminatory, is no question. When I came up all through Chicago, I went to Chicago grade schools, and some areas were great schools, some areas were bad schools, and the area I was in was bad schools, bro. And they had good teachers, a few good teachers, but the point is that the only thing I learned about Black history by reading Jet magazine and Evan. That was in the 60s. So when they started incorporating in high school and in college Black history, that was a good thing. However, a lot of Black people, man, I mean, I ain't saying a lot, but I'm saying a lot of Black people didn't even go to those classes. Didn't even sign up. It's all about making money. Yeah, a lot of people majored in Black history and all that. But history is history, and like you said, a lot of people didn't know, and some of the things I didn't even know, but I learned while in high school. When we went to St. Anne, Ed, I might have said this before to you, they had a Black encyclopedia in Pedia books, and it talked all about Black history. And during the study halls, I used to read those books, and it would talk about all the inventions that they were doing and what they've done, and all that. So I knew all that stuff by when I was in high school by reading those books, but it wasn't taught in our history books. We had to take history classes in high school, but I knew all about the Indians and all of that. But I'm just saying. So it's hard to really, we live in, Martin Luther King said this is a racist country. So when you live in a racist country, they're going to only deal with their race and certain things that they want to teach. And I wouldn't blame them. Why would you want to talk about the bullshit, all the shit that hurt, that what you did, the murders, the killings, the mistreatment of a whole millions of people? Why would you want your children to know that's what you did? So there it is, all the hangings and all of that. So, because now they're supposed to be the religious right. You go to the South, and all you got is a whole bunch of inundated to religious programs. Southern Baptist Church and all that stuff. They all believe in God and everything else. So, hey, more power to them. That's what I say. They don't want to integrate. They just tolerate. So I mean, hey, I have no animosity against people that are racist or prejudice or bigotry, and all that stuff, and fighting for those things to think that they're going to accept us. They will never accept a Black person 100% as a normal human being. And I'm not talking about all white folks. I'm just saying, as a whole, majority. And I said, more power to them. I don't care. Just leave me alone. because I'm going to mind my business and leave yours alone. But it's my job to teach my children so that they'll know. And then they can never, when they leave the house, when they left the house, they know. And they all got white friends, they got Asian friends, they got Latino friends, they got all kinds of friends. Because I always taught them, they ain't better than you and you ain't better than them. You treat people with respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And they turn out to be knuckleheads, cut them off. That's all I'm saying.
All right, people. I had to go back and do some history searching here because I didn't know them two white boys' names. But they were Goodman and Schreiner. They were both Jews. And James Chaney. You folks out there who don't know anything about them, those three people, you need to look at your history book and do a Google search on them. Goodman, Schreiner, and Chaney.
And the only reason why it's so famous is because you had those two Jewish boys that got killed.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for them two Jewish boys and stuff and everything, they'd have never known who Chaney was, or they'll never found his body. It hadn't have been for those two Jews. And they would have killed Chaney and wouldn't nobody say anything about it because all you folks out there and everything, when they killed black folks in the South, nobody even thought about it. The only people knew who died and everything, and the black folks better not open their mouth and say a word about it. What the heck happened to them? And the white folks would hang them, burn them, do whatever they wanted to do to them, and that was it. And the family members and stuff, most of the time, couldn't even get their bodies back because they might have thrown them in a river or did something with them, or buried them under a street or a highway. That's how they treated us back then. Oh, people. These folks died. These people died so you can be able to drive them badass cars down the street. They died so you can have a billionaire. They died so you can have civil rights. They died for the Voting Rights Act. So you can go to the polls and exercise your right to vote for somebody. And when we sit on this channel and get upset because 80-some million people didn't vote, and a whole lot of them were our people, and they say, it don't mean nothing. Yes, it does. If it don't mean nothing to you, it means something to Chaney and Goodman and Schreiner. It means something to them. These people died. So you can vote.
I'm going to ask you a question. They might not know. Why did they die? What were they doing, Ed?
They were trying to register people to vote.
Hello.
They were trying to register our people to vote. Somebody needs to stand up and get out there and walk those streets, or stand in their daggone schools, or go out there on the street corner, stand up in them daggone black churches and stuff and everything, and let them folks, them young people and stuff, know why they need to get out there and vote. Goodman and Chaney been turned over in their graves 100 times listening to these folks tell them, hey, it don't mean nothing to vote, especially these black folks, and they lost their lives.
Life is too good, Ed. Come on, bro. Life is too good. You got your PlayStations, you're a teenager or a young adult, and you can, I think I'll order my food and then they just drop it off at your front door. And life is too good, bro. They just take everything for granted, like it just automatically happened.
This stuff did not just happen, people. Your right to go down there and have that voting card in your hand did not just happen. It did not. It wasn't given to you. It had to be taken. And they took it and stuff and gave their lives and stuff and everything because of that. Man, I look at these folks and stuff nowadays and say, I don't sense to be voting and stuff. I don't see no reason to me voting. Oh,
It just happened, bro. It just happened.
my
That's all.
people, my people, my people, my people. You guys,
Well,
I don't know.
come on, Ed. I mean,
Is
come
it
on,
is
bro.
it worth fighting for, Ted? Is it worth sitting up there and telling these people all the time, whenever there's a vote coming up or whatever they're getting ready to start voting? Is it worth it to tell these folks and everything that they need to get out there? If there's a school board election, you need to vote. If there's a dog catcher election coming up, you need to vote. Local, state, federal, not just every 4 years, people. And then even the 4 years, you don't even get out there and vote.
I don't understand why, you know, and I knew this a long time ago, but it really got me when President Obama got elected. And I realized right then, you know, because I've never been a political animal, but everything is politics. Everything. And it shapes our lives in every way. You think that they sitting up here right now trying to figure out a way to draw up lines so that they can have full charge of North Carolina and representation. My understanding, they used to have 7 Democrats, 7 Republicans. Now you got, what, 10 or 11 Republicans and whatever left of Democrats because they designed it because we're not the full population, you know, we're minimum. So they designed it so that those folks can win. If it wasn't that important, they wouldn't be sitting up there doing all kind of stuff behind closed doors. So that your vote don't count because your representation has been watered down.
It is beyond me, Ted, that this last election, just for the presidential election, almost $2 billion was spent for a job. Yearly pay is $450,000 a year.
It was way more than $2 billion.
And they spent over $2 billion to get that seat. It got to be worth something. It got to be worth something. Something to tell you if somebody want to spend that kind of money for a damn seat in Washington, D.C., that is worth something. White people don't spend money like that unless it's worth something. Think, black folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Sorry. We giving you all this headache and everything. We sorry, but this touches some strings, buddy. It touches some strings and stuff because I'm looking at these boys and stuff. They digging about their damn dirt in the ground. Well, these people riding buses and stuff down there in the Birmingham, Alabama. And then people stopping the bus and want to burn the bus down and stuff with the black folks in it and putting dogs on them. We saw this. You guys didn't see it. We lived it. We saw it happen. Bye, people.